ScrubGamers, welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we have another episode in our previously from DBS series, where we go over the week's news in one video at the end of the week, so you'd have to go by day. And for this episode we're going more on the, well, just going full on for the Masters side of the Dragon Ball Super card game, because the Fusion World stuff has all been revealed, all out there, so there's nothing more to reveal until we get the actual game, and then move on to the second set after the game is finally released. And the only thing we're kind of like hoping for to find out from the Fusion World is if the beta actually, well, the digital client, not the beta, drops at the same time as the card game, because that's what we've been told and expect. But then they had a whole thing saying about spring. But then I think in spring, like in Japan, spring starts in February for them, whereas like in most of the world, well, at least for most places in the world, it starts for like March, April. So that's going to be an interesting look at for. But we're going over some massive reveals because we got set 24 coming out soon, I think in March. I'm not 100% sure, I think it might be in March. And with that we got reveals going, and Bandai decided instead to do the normal thing of revealing like a archetype or a colour over a week, they decided to just do an archetype per day. So since Wednesday we've got all of red revealed and all of green revealed, plus some collector cards for the collector side, because this set's going to have a collector's booster for red and green as well. So, we're going to get into that. Before we do get into that, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, because we're on our way to 1,000 subs still, and you can help us out by doing that. Because liking the video lets me know you're enjoying the series. Comment down below, let's get some like engagement going, like some discussion going. And if there's anything you want to see on the channel, just comment down below, and I'll see if I can do that as best I can. And the main thing where you can support is by subscribing, because it keeps you updated with my videos as when they drop. And by clicking the notification bell, you get alerts to when my videos do drop, so you can watch them there and then, or at a later time if you're not available then. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video and check out what the Masters reveals we got for this week. So start off with red. We like to go in color order, and as I said, we got red and green shown, so we go with red first. And start off the first leader being Vegeta. So we know, thanks to Bandai actually dropping the trailer before the set reveals, we know what's actually in the what's going to be given in the set in each color. So we know for red it's Vegeta and Beerus from the I can't remember what the name of the film's called. What the name of it? The Battle of the Gods. I said the Battle of the Gods saga. It's covering red. We've got blue covering the Hirudegarn saga with I think it's Tapion and Hirudegarn in one, and I can't remember what is on the other side. It might be Tapion and Trunks. Can't remember. I know it's Hirudegarn saga's covered. Then we got green being the Frieza saga on Namek with Goku and Frieza, and we got yellow being the Turtle saga coming again in yellow being Turtles and Kid Gohan with Icarus. Then we got black, so black's actually get the deck in this one, being the Vegito Zeno, so we finally get Vegeta Zeno leader, and that's what I'm hyped for, because this is what I've been hoping to see why they've hit, like why some hits came about, to Gogeta Zeno, because that was the whole thing of hitting some, well, the whole reasons behind Bandai, about why some things in Gogeta Zeno got hit, because that was soon to come out and things like that, but it's been so many sets since we finally get to see what it actually does. So, start off with red, we got Vegeta, who then goes from his 10k side, flipping over and awakening into Z-Awaken feelings, and to go along with the lead, he's got a Z-Unison that's very generic, but also a main strategy for this. So, for Vegeta on this front side, he doesn't gain any advantage inherently, because it's also once per turn when you use one of your red Saiyan or red Saiyan or Earthling cards in a combo, you draw one card. So it's kind of got the same thing as U7, where he doesn't inherently gain advantage, but you have to combo to set like Z energy and things like that to draw cards. So you're not gaining anything, you're not plussing in any way, like you normally do with a lead that just swings to draw one to gain that extra like +1. But you still fit through your deck quite quickly. And you've even got an activate main as well, which kind of goes with the strategy of using once per turn, placing one red Saiyan from your Z energy under concentrated Saiyan power in your battle area, which is the Z extra we'll see in a bit. You then get to draw one and discard one card from your hand. So once again, you're not really gaining off either of those effects, like plussing, you're just going even, because you're drawing a card, but you're discarding a card, but you're getting to play something and use the extra from your Z energy. So not the most impressive, but we've seen decks like U7 which don't inherently gain cards by just attacking like plus, like basically become some of the best decks in the format, so this could still do pretty well. We just have to see, but there are a lot of good red decks in the meta, well in the game at the moment, so it just has to fight for a place among those. And its Awaken is when your life's at 4 or less, or if your life is at 6 or less and you red bomb in your drop, draw 2 cards. So very defensive Awakening like we've seen with like most of the last set, where most leaders were just awakening by drawing 2. It's not the best, but it's a very defensive Awakening, but still, it's something, especially since this deck doesn't plus, you see plusing from the Awakening. So then when he awakens, he's now 15k lead, being Vegeta Awaken Feelings. He has the exact same autos and activate main on the Awaken side, just being the second auto and the activate main is exact same from the front side of lead. But now you gain a new effect being the first auto, where if you have a red Z-Unison with an original power of 20k or more in play, which is literally just this Z-Unison shown on screen, the Goku one, as the to like, trigger the effect, then you get to, when this card attacks, this card gets 5k power and critical for the battle. So you got the 20k crit when it swings, where you got the Goku Z-Unison out, and then while you got that out, you're going to be comboing anyway to trigger the Ever auto. So you're going to normally be 25 to 30k combo, like swinging at critical for the battle, which is not too bad. So you're trying to deny resources while also kind of like trying to fill for your deck, which is not too bad, but it doesn't seem amazing. To me, it doesn't seem amazing, but it could be pretty decent. But then once again, with red being like very generic and there being lots of red decks in the lots of red decks that are pretty decent in the format or pretty good, it has a fight for a place among those, and I don't know if it can do better than the ones we already got. But on to something that's really nice, and this nice generic Z-Unison for red, being a 4 specified cost, 2 Z energy, and it's at SSG Son Goku Crimson Guardian Deity. 20k base as well, which is like similar to some of them we've got, like Jiren and stuff. But 4 specified costs mean you've got to wait till these turn 4 to drop it. It does have double strike and barrier, so it's got double strike pressure, which is really nice, and barrier, which is the first time we've actually seen that printed on a Z-Unison. So it's got 3 effects. First one being an auto, or when a player attacks, you may use 1 battle card from one of discarded a combo with the skills negate for the turn, and if you do, you negate the skill for the turn. So you can get a free combo for something underneath it, which is quite nice. And neither of his marker skills plus. So this is when it's not going to be a game markers outside unless you use an effect to give it, like the 3-drop Bardock BR card that can come down, give a Unison 3 markers, which is not too bad. Could go well with this, but then inherently you're going to come down with at least 4 markers anyway, and yes, it doesn't seem like, unless there's ever ways to give it markers, it's going to be like it's going to at most have 4. So you can either be able to use the first marker skill, which is the -1 4 times, or the other one 2 times, or a combination of either. But with these skills are very good. So the first one is a -1 for activate main. Switches card to active mode. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, and it gets a -25k power for the turn. So that means in your Z deck, you have barrier removal for red. Barrier removal now has red now has barrier removal in red in the Z deck, and a pretty good effect as well. Being able to, even though it costs 4, it only costs 2 Z energy. It's not too bad, especially since you're going to bring out Swing of It, which is a 20k double strike minimum, which is pretty good, and then use a -1 and then switch back to active mode, and then -25k a barrier battle card annoying barrier, which can get rid of some pesky things, which is very good. Like usually you have this in your side deck in the form of the like Kaioken Goku, which costs 2 energy, but then you have to draw into that, which is just any point in your Z deck you've got access to this at all times. Plus as a Unison, so you got Unison support with like the Yamcha, Videl, things like that, Wolfang Fist. So you've got some nice little things, and nice having that Unison that you can get, well, once you hit 4 energy, be alive as soon as you hit 4. Now, that was the problem with Unisons, being able to, like some cards, like battle cards, extra cards, the Unisons, withdraw into them, but with the Z deck, giving them access to any point in the game, like, makes it a bit crazy, but it is still very good. And then we've got the -2, so it's a little bit different, well, kind of same, just a little bit different. Whereas an activate main, where you choose all your opponent's battle cards in Unisons, and they get -25k power for the turn. Then you choose it to one of your cards, it gets +5k power until the end of your opponent's turn. So this is really nice, because this is just negging -25k to your opponent's entire board. Doesn't go for barrier, but that would be a bit too busted if it did. So you get -25k to your opponent's entire board, being a board wipe out of anything. Mostly a board wipe out of anything that doesn't have barrier, but also be able to like swing over the things that are then weakened. And then you can give your lead an extra 5k power until the end of the opponent's turn. So you're kind of beating your leader while also minusing your opponent's entire board, which is really good. Then -2, and this is a double striker as well. So like if you got a barrier threat, you can kind of deal with it with -1. If your opponent doesn't have a barrier threat, and you want to just clear their board, use this, and then give your leader a 5k boost to kind of defend it a little bit easier. And there are some good leads in in red that can get like a good benefit of this, and this seems like a very good unison to have, and another great Z deck tool for red decks. So that's Vegeta out of the way, so not too bad. The Goku's more impressive than the actual leader and stuff, but we'll see what the rest of it has. Before we then go on to that, we're going to go on to Red Beerus. So Red Beerus comes back and never leader, so this is like the fourth lead I think Beerus has had, if you don't count the reboot leader being a new leader, just a reboot of the first leader, because it's got one in blue, and then it got reboot, and then it's got one in red, the original one in red from set 8, and then the one in green that was not good, and this will be the fourth one, and this is also what's it never red Beerus. Also, some of its support can be used as legacy support for the old Beerus, which is what I'm kind of hyped for. I'm more hyped for like this support, legacy support for Beerus in this Beerus stuff than I am for the actual new lead. So for Beerus on its unawakened side, on the front side, he's got a permanent where you can get the energy source skill on all your red, yellow, multicolored guard cards in areas. So kind of like a skill you'd hope to have on the old Beerus lead, but on this one. So it's almost like a soft reboot, but then it doesn't have the same kind of skills that made the first one really good. But it does have an activate main where once per turn, you can add one red or yellow god card from your hand to your Z energy as a cost. So you kind of throwing a red or yellow card from your hand to your Z energy straight away to look at the top 5 cards of your deck and add to one red god card to your hand and shuffle your deck. So once again, just like with Vegeta, you're not plussing, because you're losing a card from your hand to then look at top 5 and find a red card, which that could potentially whiff. You're probably unlikely to whiff, but you can whiff, which I feel very bad, but you're not gaining anything. You just essentially setting up your Z energy ready to do some like Z deck shenanigans, while also kind of finding stuff from your deck. So you're filtering through, but you're not plussing, just like Beerus. So neither of the red decks so far just generically plus. And then you got the Awaken, which is when you nice at 4 or less, or if you have 2 or more energy and you have a red Z-Unison with a specified cost of 1 in play, so kind of hints what the Z-Unison is going to be for red, and you get to draw 2 cards and add cards from your life to your hand so you have 6 life left. So once again, a never lead that just basically draw 2 cards, but this one, it just doesn't have to go down 6 life like Vegeta, but if you do use the Alternate Awakening, then you could do it on 6. Whereas Vegeta, you need to be at 6 life to do the Alternate Awakening, or 4 life to just awaken normally. And then Beerus, you have to have a red Z-Unison with a specific cost of 1 in play, while having 2 more energy to then go down to 6, or draw 2 cards and then go down to 6. And then when you do awaken, you go from Beerus to being Beerus, pursuing the the power of the gods. And you are now a 15k leader with blocker. Same permanent now to negate the net energy source skill, because by the looks of it, this is going to be a heavy multicolor deck. Just like, well, kind of like the first one. And he's got 2 alters now. So you got the standard of when this card attacks, draw 1 card. So unlike the red Vegeta, Beerus is going to plus, because it's going to attack, plus, and there you go. And he's also got Never Alter, which once per turn, when you use one of your red, yellow, multicolored god cards in a combo, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, and during this turn, the next time you activate a rival, red, yellow, on a Beerus card with energy cost of 5 in your hand, you get to reduce the skill cost by 1 red. So that's really nice. We're going to hopefully get some more Beerus cards, because outside of any new cards we get in the set, there's only one Beerus with a rival Beerus with a cost of 5, and that's the one for set 8, which is the I can't remember the exact name of it now. I'm drawing a blank, but it's the one that can like come down, pop something 30k, or lock a card down, sort of from attacking or switching active. I think switching active mode, which is pretty sick. So having this also to make it so it goes from a 2 cost arrival to a 1 cost arrival is really nice, because it has a really good effect to use offensively while being a 25k beat stick as well. So this is really nice effect. This is like really nice, but then you've got to try and get through the awakening, but you're going to awaken as soon as possible, because since you need to just have a Z-Unison on turn 2 with a cost of 1. It's going to be very easy to do. And you get draw 2 cards, even though you don't tap an energy, you still have that 1 extra energy to play with. And then you've got this lead, and you've got the blocker skill on the lead to kind of defend the Z-Unison, to keep it around, while also then allowing you to kind of get your combos off you do rival shenanigans, which is sick. And not only that, but this deck also comes with a Z lead being Beerus encounter with the power of the gods. So it goes from pursuing to encountering, and it's a 20k base leader, so that's really nice. Like we're getting more 20k. This comes to the era of 20k base leaders, which we normally get Z leaders for the decks.
and it only requires 2 Z energy. Plus, you need to awaken when you're by paying 1 red when you're 3 or less on any red Beerus, just red Beerus. So you can this is nice legacy port for the old Beerus, which is quite cool. So for the old Beerus, the set 8 one, you can use this lead, and it also still has blocker as well. And now you have 3 auto. So the first one is once per turn, if it's your turn, when your card with arrival is played, you draw 1 card. So you draw from the first arrival you do during your turn. That's pretty nice. That's really nice to mitigate the fact you lose a card from hand when you use arrival. But luckily, with some of the red, yellow ones, you got some like offering on them, which then force your opponent either to crit a life or let you draw 2. So plus a draw with that is going to be really nice. It also then still keeps the when this card attacks, draw 1 also, which is really cool. So you still gain advantage. And that kind of gives a little plus to the old Beerus leader, where if you put this down on, you're then 20k beast leader, then you're starting to draw a card. And you need to awaken when you do, like combined awaken when you can use the leader's effects or the free combo arrival skill, you can do this offensively. And then you also keep the auto of once per turn when you use your red yellow multicolored card in combo. During your turn, the next time you activate the arrival on a 5 cost Beerus with arrival red yellow, you get to reduce the skill by 1. So it keeps the same skills as the Awakened Beerus leader, new Awakened Beerus leader, but then it trades out the permanent for a never auto to draw when your rival during your turn. That's really nice. Like this is really nice Z battle card, well Z leader sorry, for this deck. So it's a very nice one to go into, giving you like a bigger lead. But then you lose the energy exhaust. But when you get to later in the game, after you've done a few energy exhausts, you don't really need to do too many, and start using some of those multicolored cards like Arrival and defend yourself and stuff like that. So it's really nice. Like I'm really more hyped to use this Z lead with the old stuff than I am to use this deck, but this does look pretty nice. So let's continue some of the rest of the bed. It's kind of like a finish off the Z deck. So the other 2 Z cards we've got, well the Z cards aren't the Z extra, being Whis, Assistant to a God Destruction, and Beerus, Godly Regality. Or Regally. No, yeah, Regality. So these are the other 2 Z cards on the Z extra for the Beerus deck. So we've got the Whis being our Z-Unison being a specified cost 1 with 2 Z energies. So you have to, after your first turn and second turn after using the lead effect, you should have the Z energy without needing to attack to then drop this so you can then awaken and then attack to kind of like gain some advantage. You also have an auto where at the end of your turn, you get to switch one of your red Beerus leaders to active mode. So that makes sense where you got Beerus being a when it awakens, being a swing to draw a card, plus in a blocker, meaning that with the Whis on it, you get a swing with it, gain that card, then restand it so you can then block to kind of defend your cards or defend your unison. And it's got 2 marker skills. First one is the one that actually pluses, so it's got +1 being activate battle, and a -6 being an auto. So the first one is use up to one of your red yellow multicolored cards from your hand in the combo, so it doesn't get it kind of takes a little bit of a skill from the old Beerus lead, but kind of makes it a bit more costly, was rather than the ever old Beerus one, was just free combo a red yellow multicolored card from your drop once per turn, during your player's turn. This one has it on the marker skill, so it can do it either player's turn, but then it does it from your hand as well. So using cards in your hand, so you're not really plussing by using a card from a different area. You have to use it with your hand, but that still allows you to free combo a 10k at once your turn, either player's turn, plus markers on it as well. So that's really nice. And then you've got the auto for -6, being when your opponent attacks, you get the attack, then your opponent can only attack 2 more times per turn, so it gives you like a nice little floodgate, which is pretty cool. So get enough markers on this, and you've got a nice little floodgate of just limiting your opponent's attacks, which combined with another floodgate could just end the turn by using this. And because it actually negates the attack, which is cool, so you actually negate that first attack and then leave them for 2 more attacks. So that's pretty nice. And it does it in the through counter. So if you do kind of like try to use a floodgate and your opponent then counters a floodgate, you can then use this auto to then trigger it after to kind of still negate that attack and then limit their attacks. So that's pretty nice. It is only a 5k, so it's going to be very easy to neg or like attack into and push markers off. But then with your lead being a blocker to kind of defend itself and maybe with some negates, you can kind of get the markers up. And plus because it can plus during your player's turn, and since your leader can block on one attack, you can then use the active battle on that attack to basically plus it, which is very cool. And then we've got here Beerus Godly Regality. So this is a free cost, 15k with a C cost of 1. But it's got a permanent where if you have 2 or more red, yellow, multicolored cards in your energy, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2, well, in cost of your Z deck by 2. Meaning that once you've got 2 energy that are multicolored, red, yellow, and are god cards, This becomes a 1 cost 1 Z energy in your Z deck. And it's got auto or limit 1 when this card attacks. If you have 3 or more red cards in your energy, use up to 1 red, yellow, multicolour card from your drop in the combo with the skills negative at a turn. And then if you have 3 or more yellow cards in your energy, you get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, which is the rest mode. So that's not too bad. Just get on its swing, just once a turn, battle limit 1. As long as if you got 3 multicolours, you get to both combo 1 red, yellow, multicolour card from your drop in the combo, negating its skills, and also you get to switch into rest mode. So the kind of benefits of both red and the normal kind of combo strategy for arrival, plus yellow's kind of resting things built together. Not amazing, but whereas Whis is going to be a good one for in Z deck to help it awaken and kind of like get you free comboing like for your arrival and stuff. Not too bad. Then we've got the red Z extra being concentrated, same power. So this is the one that kind of like the Vegeta deck revolves around, and it's a 1 cost 1 Z energy Z extra. With an activate main, and it's once per turn for 2 red. If you have 4 or more energy, you choose 1 Sun Gohan Adolescence card, 1 Sun Goten card, 1 Vegeta card, 1 Trunks Youth card, and 1 Fidel card, all from under this card as the cost. Then you get to play up to 1 SSG Son Goku Crimson Guardian Deity from your Z deck with 5 markers on it and place the chosen cards under it. So that's not too bad. So it also is unlike most of the Z extras. So most of the Z extras we've had in the past have been ones that once you use their skill, you kind of like lose it for the game. Like you have to lose it to use it with most of the Z extras we've had, meaning that once you use the effect, it's gone from the game. But this one doesn't. So this one, when it comes down, you basically keep it around, so the extra sticks around but still has an effect. And it allows you for 2 energy to, once you've got 4 more energy, for 2 energy you get to play out that Goku Z-Unison with 5 markers around 4 on it, and have 5 cards underneath it, thanks to being one of each of these Saiyans here, just like in the movie. So you can use those as like common power and like things like that. So that's not too bad. It makes it a lot cheaper, but then it requires a lot of effort. But then, as we've seen with the Vegeta lead, it's quite easy to do so. But then outside of Vegeta, there's not many ways you can really get cards under Z extra. They kind of use this in their decks. But for the Vegeta, you kind of, yeah, it makes sense of why it's got the whole combo thing of comboing stuff, like putting stuff from you in to kind of filter through. We just have to see what the benefit of discarding cards is. But so far, this looks like a pretty nice one because that Z-Unison is pretty good. So we've gone over the Z deck stuff. Then we go to the main deck stuff, being some of the stuff for the red Vegeta decks. We've got a 8-drop Goku, being SS Son Goku, End of a Clash. 4-drop Son Gohan, a good father, and 3-drop Vegeta the Equalizer. So the 8-drop Goku, there's an all 5k combo. And Goku is a unique double striker barrier card with 2 autos. First one being if your leader is a red Vegeta or Bulma card, so it's got like a support with the old Bulma lead as well. Like what I like about Red the set is it kind of has like legacy support for the old set 8 Bulma and Vegeta. Bulma and Virus deck, which is pretty nice. Like nice little legacy part in new decks. It's quite nice. So if your leader is a red Vegeta or Bulma card, when your SSG Son Goku Crimson Deities markers become 0 from a battle, you get to play this card from your hand for free. That's pretty cool. And the other one is also if your leader is a red Vegeta or Bulma card and you have 4 more energy, when your Son Goku Dawn of Divinity, which being the SR from set 8 for the 3-drop red yellow Goku card from set 8 from its strategy, if that's in your battle area, if that's removed from your battle area by opponent's skill or KO'd, you get to play this card from your hand. So this is nice. It supports a new kind of red stuff in with the Unison, where the Unison loses markers from a battle to 0. Get free play out this 30k double strike with barrier. And if you've got that 8-drop, 3-drop SR red yellow Goku from the set 8, and that's removed by battle or skill, and you're 4 more energy, you get to free play this out as well, as long as your leader is either Vegeta or Bulma. So I'm not sure how great that is, but it's a pre-card to play. But then you're playing for the second also, you're playing a card that isn't great to use. But the other one, you just need to use as markers go down, which is easy enough to pull off and get a free card out of it. But then it's from a battle, which means it can only really be done defensively. Because if you use a marker skill, that's not doing it by battle, it's doing it by an effect or by paying the cost of a card. So you have to have it by battle. But it's still defensively bringing this out, unless they've got barrier removal, unless they're going for a game and don't care about that. They would be going to Unison. But still, that's not too bad. Then we got Son Gohan, a good father. So we got the first auto being place 1 red Fidel or Saiyan card from your Z energy under concentrated Saiyan power in your battle area is the cost. And when this card attacks, you get to choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 20k power for the turn. Then you add this card to use energy at the end of the battle. So you get to drop this down, and then, well, the way you get it, drop it down by is activate main, which is limit 1 for 1 red. If your leader's backside is a Vegeta Awaken Feelings, you have 3 more energy, play this card from your hand. So with the cost of that thing being saying your leader's backside is Vegeta's Awaken Feelings, it doesn't mean you have to be on your backside of your lead, just as long as your leader has the backside being that side of the lead, being Vegeta Awaken Feelings, so you can play this out at 3 more energy from your hand. And it's quite interesting from it's also just like, so you attack, you place one Videl or Saiyan card from your CNG under the fill card, and then you get the minus something one of your opponent's battle cards for 20k, and then this card goes to use the energy at the end of the battle. So you come out, bring out for free energy the 25k that can attack. I didn't even notice it's 25k, but that's quite nice. Then you get a swing, pop a card from your Z energy under your Z extra, minus 20k something, and then at the end of the battle it goes straight to your Z energy at the end. So it's not there to be, it's off the board, which is good for your opponent because they have to worry about that. But then it's kind of good back to you because it means it's a Gohan target for your Z extra in your C energy to put under your Z extra. But then you've lost a 25k you've dropped. So you have a pretty good battle card to swing out because of this. But you can always not pay the cost and keep it around as a 25k, but you don't get the rest of the effect. You just get it as a 25k beat stick, which isn't too bad. And then we got Vegeta the Equalizer. So this is a 10k dual attacker. Also, when this card attacks, place up to 1 red Saiyan from your Z energy under the fill C extra in your battle area, being concentrated Saiyan's power. So this is a way to do it both times, put them under quickly, because he's got dual attack. And then you got the activate, but it's still only swinging for 10k. It's like it would have been a bit better if it was 15k. But then it's like each time you attack, you're not even comboing, you're just placing the card underneath. And the way you can cheat out is by activate main, so 1 for 1 red. If your leader is a red Vegeta or Bulma, so once again, Legacy supports a red Bulma, and you have 2 more energy, you can play this card from your hand and add 1 card from your left to your hand. So it's a way to kind of like take your life down to help you awaken, which is quite nice. It's optional as well because it adds up to 1. And it's a nice way to like something to bring out and just kind of get that strategy going. And it's a good way to kind of it's got a way to use this kind of in your, it's like another way to use this in this whole like strategy in Bulma, which is pretty cool. Get that Z extra out, and you already use like Videl stuff, and now you just need to put some other red, because it doesn't require specific ones, but you can need to put some other ones in there. You can kind of use this strategy in Bulma, which is quite cool, for a stronger Z extra, like Unison to use to kind of help steal the board, and helps you hold off, like to be defensive like Bulma wants to be. So I reckon it's a pretty nice card for Bulma, more than it is for Cheetah. So that's those for 3. Then we've got the next 3 being Son Goten, Trunks, and Gotenks. Oh well, Son Goten and Trunks joining the party, and then Gotenks Party Fusion. So these also got some effects to trigger as well, and the Goten and Trunks are kind of like the, I think they're no, I was gonna say they're more like the cantrip and such you normally get for each archetype, but they're not. But so Trunks and Goten kind of have the same activate main, which is limit 1 for 1 red. If your leader's backside is of Z-Awaken Feelings, you have 2 or more energy, you get to play this card from your hand. So same way to play, just for 1 energy. Once you get 2 or more energy, as long as your leader's this lead, you get to drop it out. But then Gotenks is basically the same, but you have to wait till you have 3 more energy. So Goten and Trunks come out when you have 2 or more energy. Gotenks comes out when you got 3 or more energy, and their autos are also a little bit different. So Goten's is when this card attacks, you draw 1 card and then add this card to your Z energy in the battle. So similar to Gohan, you bring out this card, swing with it, you get a, but this one gets to allow you to draw a card rather than minus something off, and then you get added to Z energy at the end. It's only 15k, so that's not too bad, and it's a good way to get Goten going and kind of like put some pressure on and kind of cycle through your deck, set up what you're trying to do. And then we got the Trunks one being also when this card attacks, use it to 1 Saiyan or Earthling card, both mono red with a 5k combo power from your drop in a combo with the skills you get for the turn. Then add this card to use the energy at the end of the battle. So okay, the Trunks makes sense about now why, like with the discard, because since with the lead you're using the activate main to kind of put a card from your Z energy underneath your Z extra for to then draw a card and discard a card. That card you're discarding kind of sets up for Trunks, where now you put one card under that you've comboed there to the Z extra. Now with Trunks you get to go ahead and play it out, swing, combat that card you discard for free with this card to make it stronger than 15k attack. Then you Z-charge that, and then at the end of the battle, Trunks goes to use the energy, meaning you got 2 setups to use the energy, ready to then use a lead to put up with the extra. So that makes sense of that. And then you got Gotenks, so it's the 4 cost, and this one's 25k to come down, so similar to Gohan. But now his effect is you place 1 Saiyan card from your Z energy under your Z extra, which is in your battle area. So it's another way to kind of get cards under your Z extra without using the leads, kind of like draw and discard. And then when this card is played, you draw a card. Well, when this card is played, you draw a card and this card gains critical for the turn. So it doesn't have it on attack, just when played. So when you drop it for 3 or more energy for 1 red, you then get to put 1 of the cards, red Saiyans from your Z energy under the Z extra. Then you're drawing the cards, replacing yourself, and now you got critical for the back turn. And that's pretty nice, because you're replacing in hand, you're paying it for 1 energy, you're replacing in hand, and then you swing a 25k crit, which 25k is once again like a spot on time amount of power to have, because then it forces your opponents, if they want to combo out easier, they have to use a super combo plus another 5k to just combo out, or use up energy, use like a battle trick that gets give you 15k power, so like a final flash or things like that. And that's really nice because you're getting like a decent power swing. You're drawing card replacement, so you're not losing anything in hand because you're replacing yourself in hand. You're setting up, you're like going with what your strategy is to get cards under your Z extra to get your Unison out for cheap, and also you're applying some good pressure, being critical and 25k power as well. That's a pretty nice one. It does come out later at free energy, but that's still not too bad. That's only like a third turn in, and you get this nice bit of power, and after that you can keep doing it over and over again. And it's a pretty nice card. I reckon it's a pretty good one to have in the deck because it's a good way to get the cards for using energy under your Z extra without constantly drawing and discarding from your lead. And now we get into some of the other cards. So once again, you need a Bulma in your drop for your leader. So for your Vegeta leaders, like a way to alternative awaken. And for Bulma, you got some pretty nice ones. You got old Bulma cards as well, but you got these 2 ones here. And we got Bulma the Party Thrower and Bulma the Party Hostess. So they're both basically the they are essentially the cantrip and searcher for the deck. So you got Party Thrower being the also when this guy's played draw cards at the cantrip, and Bulma Party Hostess being the one that when it's played, you can top 5 cards to your deck and add to 1 Saiyan or Earthling that's both red with energy cost of 4 or less to your hand and shuffle your deck. So I can search for one of like many other Goku's like well apart from the this SR Vegeta and the 8-drop Goku, you can search most of the other cards to help like with your strategy to kind of like find the things so you can start chucking the cards and use the extra so you can get the Unison out as quickly as possible. And not only that, you also got these beneficial effects in the drop, which well if you got this going to use the energy, where you activate main if your leader's backside is the Vegeta leader, Vegeta's Awaken Feelings, and you place this card from your Z energy in your drop, you get to add up to 1 red Saiyan card from your drop to your Z energy, and with the skills to get for the turn. So you can have these Bulmas, combo these Bulmas from it, and then be able to use Bulma to basically just go switch itself from Z energy to one of the other cards you need for the extra to go to use the energy instead. So that's pretty nice. You can use it as turn 1 play, then combo off defensively so you can get in there so you can kind of switch it out. So when you use a leader's effect to kind of draw card, put a card underneath and draw a discard, you discard a card in there so then Bulma can then go ahead and put the card set up ready. It's a pretty nice synergy between these in this deck. Like it's got good synergy and stuff, but then it's got a bit of testing to see how it goes and if it can perform better some of their red decks. But you got the SR for Vegeta being here, the 6-drop SS2 Vegeta Charging Rage. So this one comes down as a 20k with double strike. It's got an auto limit 1 for 1 red if your leader is a red Vegeta or Bulma card and you have 3 more energy as the cost. When one of your red Earthling cards is removed from your battle area by a skill, you draw 1 card, play this card from your hand, and place up to 1 red Saiyan card from your Z energy under your concentrated Saiyan power in your battle area. So another way to help get the cards from your Z energy underneath your Z extra, you also draw a card to replace yourself when you play it as well. And it's easy to trigger being a red Earthling being removed from the battle area by a skill. Very easy if you keep things in active mode, your opponent gets rid of it. You trigger this for just 1 red. And it's 20k double strike is not too bad, and it's got an activate battle where once per turn you can use it to 1 mono red card with a 5k combo from your drop in a combo with the skills to get for the turn. So either player's turn, you get to use this as a free combo to defend yourself or be more offensive, which is really, really nice. That's really cool. It's a really nice effect, and also nice that it's like kind of legacy sport also for Bulma as well as this new Vegeta. So that's all. That's the red Vegeta stuff we got. Then we got some of the Beerus. Beerus didn't get many cards because it's got a fair few multicolors to kind of for its deck. And the main ones it's got is Beerus warming up, Oracle Fish, where Godly Power lies, and Whis Precise Support. So these are little battle cards, and the Oracle Fish and Whis are like the cantrip searcher for a Beerus. And this Ever Beerus is a nice little one to help kind of manage things. So you've got the Beerus warming up in a 2-cost 15k. Also, when it's played, draw a card. So like once again another cantrip. And it's got an activate battle, which is limit 1, where if you have a red god card in your combo area, you get to switch this card to active mode. Then choose up to one of your opponent's power cards, minus it by 5k power for the turn. So it's kind of got dual attack without having dual attack. Use because of the active battle, which is nice, and you'll be comboing a red card. Doesn't have to be a multicolor. It's a combo red card, which is not too bad, especially if you trigger a rival and get this to get a second swing in. So this is not amazing in the deck, I don't think, but this is a very nice. This is a very nice, cute like draft card, like cute draft and stuff. Then we got the Oracle and Whis. So Oracle Fish being the cantrip, being when it's played, draw a card, and Whis being a searcher, where when it's played, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and it's a 1 red card card with energy cost of 5 or less from your hand and shuffle your deck. So the Whis is a really nice card, and it kind of like, I feel like it might replace the Grand Priest 1-drop promo for the old Beerus deck, because that one was a 1-drop that looks for any multicolored card as your hand, but this one looks for a red god top 5 or less, and it finds some, like the majority of your rivals and stuff. It just doesn't find for the old Beerus deck the your checkland being the 6-drop god Beerus because it's a 6-drop. So could be good, but then this also does have they also do have beneficial effects in their activate battle, because there's activate battle limit 1, where if your leader is a red Beerus or Whis, and you send this card from your drop to your warp, you can use up to one red yellow multicolored battle card from your hand in a combo with skills to get for the turn, and then reduce its combo power by 5k power for the turn. Or 5k combat for the turn. So that was pretty good. That's really nice cards just using drop, especially since you got the old beer. Like you're gonna be comboing off and using Z energy or and things like that to have it in the drop ready used. So like gonna be able to free combo a multicolor from your hand, loses the combo power by 5k, which most of the time if you combo a 10k it's still 5k, but if you're doing 5k or less, which you kind of won't be doing using these, you get no combo power, but it's more of free ways to kind of make it the fact that you can have probably a fair few multicolors in hand to be able to do your rival shenanigans easier. And the nice thing about this is you can use this in the old Beerus, just chuck it to draw 2 cards and have them set up to kind of do things, along with some of the old Whis as well. So nice that they're both draw cards that can then combo, go to drop, and then kind of help with your if you've got too many more colors in hand, kind of make sure your combo power is not too dead. And then we got some generic red cards, being Krillin, being our 1-drop skillless, being Krillin just a 10k skills card. Videl being the super combo for red, this one being a once again a super combo, but well, I think no, once again be super, once again being a red good card, being a super combo that's got a permanent where it gains Saiyan in all areas, similar to the old Videl cards from the same kind of saga that we had in the original set 8 red stuff. But it's also being similar to the ones we got in set 19, be it where if your leader is red or you have 2 or more Z energy, when this card is used in combo, draw 1 card. So this one requires specifically on you be red with 2 or more Z energy, whereas the other ones kind of requires your lead to either to have a Z battle card in play, a Z like 2 Z energy, or a Z leader in play to kind of trigger, which just requires 2 or more Z energy, and it's a never Videl super combo as well. And with the Saiyan synergy, means you can kind of have this as a replacement for Raditz if you don't want to go Raditz, kind of have that a different way, which is quite cool. And also as another one to kind of like help with the strategy because you need a Videl, so you can use this as your super combo. It doesn't require your life to be a 4 or less, to then have that to have your synergy with it as well. And then the only extra card red gets is Aura Overflow of the Fusion, being a 1-cost. Being an activate battle, draw 1 card and choose it to one of your red Z-Unisons, and it gets 5k power and critical for the battle. So that can turn a that could turn the Goku Z energy. Only does it for 1 attack on the Goku one, because remember, if you want to restart, because they can get 2 attacks with your -1, because it's a minusing one, it'll lose any skills and power. So you can do this for one of them to make the first one 25k double crit and draw a card. But then if you -1, it'll go back to active mode to kind of swing again. But we'll lose the critical and draw and the +5 because it's lost the marker, so it loses the skills. But it keeps its normal like base double strike from the skills it has naturally. So that's all of red for the Beerus and Red Beerus and Goku. No, Red Beerus and Vegeta. Now we go into the green. So we got the first one being Green Goku. So Goku being, I think, I can't remember how many leads this is in green, where we've had a Green Goku of the Super Saiyan from when his Frieza Saga only first turns. I think this might be the 3rd or 4th, maybe. We've had a fair few. It's not kind of lost track, but like Goku turning Super Saiyan against Frieza is been a kind of big focus mainly in green. So you got Son Goku before, like as he's basically getting after he's seen Krillin die, and anger gets to him to turn Super Saiyan on the front side. With an auto when this card attacks, look at the 5 cards on top of your deck, add it to one up to 1 Saiyan, Earthling, or Mecha card, all green with entry cost 4 or less to your hand and shuffle your deck. So that's kind of similar to the Gohan one, where it attacks and gains a Saiyan, but this is a specific, it's more than just a Saiyan, it's Earthling and a Mecha as well, but it's a cost restriction to be 4 or less, can't remember if everyone did. But there's still quite a lot of targets you can get. So not too bad for Awaken, unless these plussing unlike the other ones on the Unawakened side. And the Awaken is if your life is a 4 or less, or you have a green Z-Unison with a specified cost of 2 in play. You draw 1 card, switch on the energy active mode, and add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left. So this doesn't have the defensive awakening of drawing 2, like the red leaders do. This has got the mid one, so you're very easy to pull off either a 4 or less life, or get a green Z Unison with a special cost of 2 in play, which there will be one for the deck. Easy enough to do. Turn 2 straight, like basically awaken as quick as possible. And then you're drawing 1, untapping 1, getting that energy back, and going your life to 6, which is not too bad. And then when you do, you then flip over into the SS Son Goku Beginning of a Legend. Now this one is a good one to like kind of gain like plus in your player's turn, because you got the auto when this card attacks, it kind of gains 5k power for the battle, so when you swing you get a 20k, that's not too bad, you don't draw from that but you still swing to be a 20k. And then you got the ever auto being once per turn, when one of your battle cards that gains, or when one of your battle cards gains blocker by the skill of your green Z-Unison, you get to add up to 1 green battle card from your drop to your Z-Energy with the skills get for the turn. So by giving blocker to one of your green battle cards by your green Z-Unison, you get to gain a Z-Energy for free. That's pretty nice. And with his as the energy with his skills to get for the turn, so you don't get things like if you had the Son Gohan rare, you won't get it triggered out, which is that's fair. That's fair enough. But the way you gain advantage for free is by the activate battle. Once per turn, you draw a card, then choose it to one of your cards that gets 5k power for the battle. So that means every turn offensively, this card could swing at 25 by swinging, getting the auto, gain extra 5k power, and in the activate battle to then draw 1 and gain another 5k power on top. I mean, you can swing every turn for 25k to your opponent's leader while drawing a card. That's pretty good. And then defensively, you can activate, and anytime you can activate battle, you can just draw a card and gain a free 5k power for the battle to kind of help defend out of things, and even just draw a card, which is very, very nice. So a free way to just gain advantage, draw a card on your opponent's turn, your player's turn, is really, really good. So this is already looking to be a very good leader for green, and it's nice to see green get like it's a more generic one as well, because there's nothing that really requires you to have more. So it's a more generic one than the green Gohan, where you can just slap in some other archetype and just have the Z-Unison. That's pretty cool. And then we got the green Frieza one being the other one. So just like with red, how one of them the Z leader, the other one didn't. Green Frieza, like seems like the villains are having the Z leaders, which is quite cool. And Frieza is the one that has it, so it goes from Frieza on the front, on the front side, and this one being a never good lead. But this is Frieza's got an activate main, which is once per turn. You add 1 card from your life to your hand as the cost, so you got to take a life to use this. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and add to 1 green or yellow Frieza to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So self-awaken built in, which is quite nice, because the awaken requires you to be at 4 or less. And you get to add any green or yellow Frieza card to your hand, so it's more focused on Frieza, not Frieza's army, to add to hand, which is pretty cool, because this is going to be more focused on a multicolour strategy, just like Beerus is. And you got the Awaken, when your life is at 4 or less, you draw 1 card, switch it to the energy active mode, and then flip over, of course, because it's Awaken. So once again, both green leaders having the untap 1, draw 1 for their Awaken, whereas both the red ones having just draw 2 for their Awakens. So you can see it's quite nice difference, and it's nice to have green have the untap 1, draw 1. It's a pretty good one to have for Awaken, but this freezer doesn't have alternative awakening like the other ones do. It has to awaken at 4 less life, which is could take a few turns if you're not being attacked. But then when you awaken, you now become Freezer, Scourge of Saiyans, and it comes with a nice little permanent where when choosing battle cards for the skill cost of Successor on a Freezer card in your hand, once per turn you may choose any number of your opponent's battle cards as mono green battle cards. So that's pretty nice. That gives like kind of Android 21 vibes. Where you're using your opponent's cards to pay cost for stuff. So once per turn when you want to use Successor, you can choose cards in your opponent's board for as mono green battle cards for the cost. That's pretty sick. And you got the auto when this card attacks, draw 1, so you still got the draw 1, which swing to draw 1, so you gain that for now awakening, so you don't have to not attack to gain advantage, you don't have to swing to draw a card. And then you got an activate battle, which is once per turn, and also requires spirit boost, so making use of the fact that these decks are requiring Z-Unisons for stuff. Having spirit boost once, you have to knock on marker off your opponent's unison for this. And the effect is to use it to 1 green yellow multicolored card with a combo cost of 1 from your hand in a combo with the skills you get for the turn. So a free, so just like with Beerus having having a way to free combo a green yellow multicolor, because this one requires there's a whole strategy around multicolored cards. So pretty nice, like seems pretty cool. We sort of see the rest of the archetype, but be able to use your opponent's board to Successor into your stuff, and nice to see like a good deck that can probably make a good use of Successor, because out of the keyword skills, like green yellow isn't the worst, but it's not a great one. Like Successor was always like you have to have the cards lying around to be able to do it, and then some of the Successor cards weren't great and cost quite a lot, since you have to have cards on board for the cost and then pay the cost to Successor them in. It wasn't the best, but you had some pretty busted ones out of it. But it's nice to have a nice look on it, and also it also only works for Successor cards on Freezer cards in your hand. So if you're trying to use Successor on a card that's not Freezer, you're not going to get the benefit of this. But also you got the Z Leader, so Z Leader being a 2 Z energy, Z-Awaken for 1 green on top of any green freezer, so kind of like legacy support for the green freezer starter deck lead, which is what some people love. And yeah, 1 energy, any life, no matter what your life is, on a green freezer is pretty nice to kind of defend out. And 2 Z energies next to nothing. And also it's the first Z leader I think we've had that's 30k power. I know we've seen the Gogeta one that's like 100k, I think it was. But this one's the 30k lead, which is the first one we've seen that's higher than 20, which is quite cool. I think it is anyway. And just like with the Beerus one, it maintains the same kind of permanent on this side as the Awakened side of the green leader has. But it's got an auto, because you can't keep a 30k Z leader around forever, so it's got an auto where at the end of a battle, which is card was attacked, you may place 2 of your Z energy in your drop. If you don't, remove this card from the game. So I think this is, oh yeah, I just remember there's a Black Broly that's got a huge power as that. So like, yeah, just like similar like Black Broly, you've got a big Z leader that's quite cheap to play out, but it doesn't stay around forever. It is temporary. So in this case, at the end of any battle, when this card was attacked, unless you sack off 2 Z energy, you're not keeping it. And 2, if you want to keep it around, you have to keep sacking off 2 Z energy for every swing. So your opponent can like swing into you with a weak card just to force you to use 2 Z energy, like a cantrip. Swing it to force you to use 2 Z energy or lose it. And then you can start swinging with your actual meaningful things once they lose it. And you also got an activate main once per turn, also Spirit Boost 1. So similar to the Activate Battle, but not Activate Battle, which is a draw 1 card, and then choose it to 1 of your green freezer battle cards, which is active mode. So unlike the Activate Battle on the Awakened side, you got the same kind of thing to like where you need a knock marker, but this is how you draw cards from the Z leader, being drawing a card and also get to essentially turn a green freezer in your battle area into a dual attacker, because you get switched to active mode. And there's pretty good ones, because as you guess, for this deck there is some multicolour focus. We're going to see a fair few multicolored cards in this set, which I'm looking forward to, because it has been a while since we've had like an interesting multicolour strategy. So for some of the evergreen Z cards we've got 2 green Z-Unisons, so 1 for each deck. So we've got the Bardock for Goku and the Cooler for Frieza. So the kind of family relative come to aid in the Z-Unisons. And we got Bardock being a 2-cost Z-Unison with 1 Z energy for Goku, and Cooler being a 1 specified cost with 1 Z energy for Frieza. So in Bardock, his ulti is once per turn. When you battle card with blockers removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, you add 1 marker to this card. So we already know that kind of the Bardock's going to be adding blocker to a battle card, because that's kind of also written on to gain advantage by Goku, which specifically says by a Z Unison. And it's got no way to kind of plus markers. Both its marker skills are plus minus 0. So it needs a way to kind of plus. Well, kind of needs for a cheap Z Unison, needs a way to plus, and that's how it does it. So if you give something blocker, if something has blocker and it's removed from the battle area by a skill, then you get gain a marker, which is pretty cool. But it's only by skill, not by battle though, so you gotta watch out for that. And you got the 2 activate main skills, being the marker skills, and 1 gains you, and 1 gains you cards, 1 takes cards from your opponent. Because you got the first activate main being if your leader is green, as the cost, you just draw 1 card, then choose it to one of your green Saiyan, Earthling, and Mechie battle cards, and it gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. Well, until the end of your opponent's turn. So that means you can use that to get draw a card. Just draw a card and actually just plus. So once you gain your plussing for both leader and unison, so that's a +1 for unison and a +1 for the leader. And doing it every turn, you just plus into a turn outside of just from leader and unison, which is pretty cool. And this is accessible to all green leaders because the only requirement is a green leader. So that's really nice. And being a Z-Unison makes it access to some of the Z-Unison support, like Charismatic, Dormant, and things like that, which is pretty cool. And then you got the activate main for the ever activate main being the one that kind of takes away from your opponent, which is our activate main. Place 1 of your Z energy in your owner's drop. So sacrifice Z energy for the cost, and then your opponent discards a card from the hand. So it depends what you want to do for these effects. You can either use the first activate main to kind of just draw a card and give something of yours blocker, or you can sacrifice your Z energy and make your opponent discard a card. And since we know that there's the effect of the lead to basically get a free Z energy when you give something blocker, you can always have that set up ready to if you use the first activate main, to set up the ever activate main, which is quite cool. So having the option for green being like the kind of color that has hand control, being to either gain new cards or to take cards from your opponent, gives you a good little synergy, and this is a never good addition to green Z decks. Like green Z decks were getting better with Z extras, but this just adds even more good things for it. And we got Cooler Unison, so he also has an auto, which is a once per turn. When you play a yellow Frieza card, this guy gets plus 10k power for the turn, so he's quite a weak one, just like Whis. Because he's a 1 specified cost, he's only got 5k power, but you can make that and get more power by this auto. And unlike Bardock, he's got ways to he's got his skills plus in markers and also minus in markers. So you got the first one being a +2, so getting a few markers. He's quite low power. So activate main if your leader is a green Frieza card and you declare 1 number that's 3 or less as the cost. So you got to have your leader being a green Frieza and declare a number between, well, so that's 3 or less, so 0, 1, 2, or 3. And you get to choose it to one of your opponent's non-token battle cards, increase its energy cost by the declared number for the turn. Now it makes sense that it's non-token, because otherwise you can have give ways to get rid of tokens if your effects that require energy costs. So this allows a helpful successor by choosing your opponent's battle cards and giving it extra cost, being either an extra 1 cost, 2 cost, 3 cost, to kind of help with your successor cards. And then you got the ever active main, the marker skill, which is -3, being your opponent discards 1 card from hand. So that seems a lot for a -3. Being just -3 and make your opponent discard 1. It's not amazing, but I guess you got it for the Frieza deck, so you can use a +2 to then kind of manage the levels on your opponent's boards, make it so you can mainly use their stuff to kind of successor stuff in. But if they haven't got anything, you've got the -3 to kind of make use of it, but that's quite a lot of markers, which you're going to lose the unison if you do. But they're helpful for their strategies, and Bardock being a nice generic green one, so I'm looking forward to that. And let's have a look at some of the other Z cards we got. So we've got Z extra for either one, so we got for Frieza, you've got the Z extra being You Must Die by My Hand. There's a 1 cost, 1 Z energy Z extra with an effect, which is auto. If your leader is a green Frieza card, your life is at 1 and you move this card from the game, so you'll be at 1 life and lose this card to use it for this one and have green Frieza leader. and the effect is when your green freezer attacks, choose up to one of the attacking cards and it gets 30k power for the battle. But additionally, if no damage was done to your opponent by attack, you place all your energy, all your life, and you drop at the end of the battle. So it's kind of like an all-or-nothing effect that either puts like a lot of power to kind of finish your opponent, but if you don't, you die. And it's only triggered if you're at one life and you move a card from the game. So you can always choose not to use this if you don't want to be like if you're worried about this potentially killing you if you fail to hit your opponent. So you can always choose not to because the part of the cost is remove this card from the game. If you choose not to do that, you don't get the effect. But it only triggers as well if your life's at 1. So if you're at 2 life, you don't have to worry about that. But it also does give a huge boost when your green freezer cards, being either it's just a freezer card, so it'd be a leader or a battle card to kind of push through. And if you are unfortunate enough to kill your opponent, you're gonna die anyway because you kind of gone all in on that swing. But then this does card to make like to kind of save you wasting your time waiting for your opponent to have their turn to kill you after or scooping up. So you have that one, kind of iconic from the saga and the from the anime. And then of course, in the response, we've got the Goku one having his Z extra card being U full, being a 2-cost Z extra with 1 Z energy, and also a permanent to reduce the cost by making it if you have a green Son Goku card with energy cost of 8 in play, you reduce the cost of this card in your Z deck by 2 green. I mean, you just have to pay the Z energy, but the actual cost is free. So by paying no energy and 1 Z energy, you can play this out as long as you got an 8-cost Son Goku as green in play. And he's got 2 skills, both activate battle. First one being limit 1, where if your leader is a green Son Goku card, you place 1 of your Z energy in its owner's drop. As a cost, you choose up to one of your Son Goku Ground Shaking Fury, such an active mode, so you get a second swing out of one of your Goku cards. And all it costs is to, essentially have a green Goku leader. Well, no, have a green Goku leader and sack of Z energy to do it, and turns one of your cards to dual attack. That's pretty decent. Especially you probably need to play 10 the card to reset for free. It's like a free way to just go around and get 2 swings out of this. And then you got the second activate battle, which is if your opponent is attacking, you choose one of your SS Son Goku's ground shaking fury and you move it from the game. Or move this card from the game. You get switch the attack target to the chosen card, and it gets plus 10k power for the battle. So you can kind of switch the attack away from your leader most likely, and give it an extra 10. Give the card that they're attacking an extra 10k power for the battle, which is pretty good. But mainly it's just the first activate battle, just give a sec, like basically turn the card into a dual attack for free, and get your Z extra as well to help with like things, which is quite nice. Especially if your opponents use a robotic riposte, having this card on board to then make it so you can definitely attack if you're tapped out with everything else is pretty nice. And now on to some of the spoilers for the green decks. So we've got Green Goku since the battle cards. We've got the look at the card that we were referring to just now, being S Son Goku Ground Shaking Fury, being an 8-drop 35k Goku, and then Son Goku Face Off with Emperor, being the 4-cost 19k battle card for Goku, both being SRs. So the 8-drop is a Triple Strike and Revenge. So Triple Strike, getting 2 Triple Strikes doing for free is pretty nice. Comes down for a 4 because his activate main is for 4 green. If your leader is green, play this card from your hand, and that's generic. Any green deck can play it. And you got 2 autos. First one being when this card is played, choose all your opponent's battle cards and barricade them. So that wipes out your opponent's entire board no matter what, unless they've got indestructible, which is pretty tasty. It's just like kind of annoying to have this kind of like card being like such a generic green card for any green deck to use. And then you've got the Ever effect, which is when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, your opponent discards 3 cards in hand. So if they want to swing over this, which you don't want to do, you don't want to swing over this because of 35k power, and you don't want to waste swings to this. If you're removed by an effect, you're going to need discarding 3 cards from your hand. So that's a nasty card. Comes down as a board wipe, ignoring barrier for everything. And it doesn't come down to turn 4, but you can turn 4 over and over again. And it's just your opponent's battle cards that leaves your board intact. It says Triple Strike at 35k. Like green has got some really good boss cards, and it's getting hard to pick out of them. But this is a strong contender to be a good one for most green decks. And you got the Ever Goku being a 4-cost 90k. Also, when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards to kill it. So that's a nice way to just get rid of it. You can pop something, you just take something with it. Then you got 2 activate skills. First one will be activate main limit 1 for 1 green, where if your leader is green and you have 3 or more energy, draw 1 card and play this card from your hands. So it's an easy cheap way to get out from turn 3 onwards. You can just, for 1 energy, play it out and draw a card, replace itself, which is quite nice. Expected for an SR.
And then you got the activate battle, which is once per turn if you have a battle card with blocker in play, which hopefully your leader sets up. You get to switch this card to active mode, and it gains 5k power for the turn, meaning that you can become a 25k for both attacks because you're switching. You do it on the first attack because it's an activate battle skill, to then swing to 24 for the turn. For the turn. Then switch back to active mode, and then swing over it again. So you get it's a kind of dual attack without having dual attack, which is quite cool. So these are both really nice ones, and also very good generic cards for any green deck to use, which is quite cool. Especially when for this 4-drop Goku it comes down for free. Well, it comes down for 1 energy and replaces off in hand for any green deck to use from turn 3 onwards. And then, as long as you've got a blocker in play, you can get a dual attack out of it as well at 24. At 24 power, or even a restand as well on your opponent's turn as well. Then we got some other ones. We got some other ones of the Z fighters that helped along with Goku to try and hold Frieza off until Goku come into the fight. So we've got Gohan important role, Vegeta face off with an Emperor, and Krillin important role. So we'll go for the Krillin and Gohan because they're both basically the same card because they kind of tie together. Because similar to how you had Vegeta and Trunks help out with the yellow Trunks deck for like set 16, these kind of do the same thing where they both have the same auto both same autos where first one being when this card is played from your hand, you get to choose one or two effects, either to draw a card or play up to one of the other card from your deck and then shuffle. So if you play out Gohan, you can either draw a card or play out Krillin, and then Krillin can play out Gohan. And they both have the same second auto or limit 1 when the other one. So when Gohan, so if it's Gohan's on board, when your Krillin gains blocker, so your Krillin probably will gains blocker, it gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. And so with Krillin, so if you have them both out, when one of them gains blocker, the other one gains blocker. So you have two blockers. So it's pretty nice, like similar to the as I said, the yellow Trunks and Vegeta from set 16 yellow Trunks. And then you've got Vegeta face off with Emperor. It's a 4-cost 16k. With activate main limit 1, if you have for 1 green, if you have leader as a green Son Goku card, you have 2 or more energy, you can play this card from your hand. So play out for 1 energy as a 4-cost 16. And you got 2 autos. First one being when this card is played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards to KO, so KO anything. And the other one is if you have a green Z-Unison play at the end of battle, in the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode. So you can have this Goku Vegeta come out, pop something, swing with it, then use your Z-Unison to kind of give it a blocker, and it restand at the end of the turn because you've got Z-Unison in play. That's not too bad. Like the Krillin and Gohan are pretty nice ones to kind of filter through your deck and kind of give you more combo power and more things to like use, which is not too bad, especially for 1 energy. It's pretty nice effectiveness because it's very generic as well, so any deck can kind of play these to kind of make that use of it to get more Z energy for any green deck because these are pretty nice cards. And then we've got the evergreen Goku stuff being Piccolo, face off with the Emperor, so he's another one similar to Vegeta. We also got Piccolo, also being a super combo for green, being Piccolo returns to the battle line. Being the super combo, which unlike Videl, requiring 2 Z energy, this one is more like generic. When you less 4 or less, you need this green. When you're using the combo, draw a card. And then you have Bulma has your Searcher, because it's when this card is played, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, and it's 1 Saiyan, Namekian, or either 1 Saiyan or Namekian, both green with entry cost 4 or less, to your hand and shuffle your deck. And then the other effect being activate main at once, which is got the rest mode. Choose up to one of your green Gohan Youth or Krillin cards, it gets blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. Being another way to give blocker that's not your Z-Unison, but is only your Z-Unison that can trigger the leads effect to gain that free Z energy. But it's another way to kind of do it to trigger the blocker on both Gohan and Krillin. And then Piccolo, the face off of the Emperor, he's got the same kind of activate main as the Vegeta, but he's got the same second auto as Vegeta, but he's a draw card. So rather than popping a card, he comes down and draws a card, replaces himself. So you can argue that Piccolo in some situations is probably better, where he's just replacing himself. But the Vegeta is nice bit of board removal, popping anything when he comes into play. So there's a green code cards, and we look at some of the green Frieza cards. So we've got a skillless in the form of Ginyu for this one, being a 3-cost 30k Ginyu, so that's pretty nice. Like, don't know how it's relevant for the deck in this one, it's just a skillless to be put into decks like Krillin is for red. And then you've got Zarbon and Dodoria, so these are the cantrip and searcher for Frieza, where Dodoria is the cantrip, whereas Zarbon is the searcher, where when he comes to play, it's top 5 cards of your deck, and up to 1 green or yellow Frieza from your hand and shuffle your deck. So specifically for green yellow Frieza cards. So these are nice little ones that every deck seems to have. And then you've got the
Green Goku didn't have a cantrip search, if I don't remember correctly, but Frieza gets one. And they both have also an activate main that helps sort out the successor stuff, like the skills on your opponent's board. Because they both have the effect to activate main limit 1. If your leader is a green Frieza and you discard this card from your hand, you get to choose it to one of your opponent's non-token battle cards, increase their energy cost by a certain amount for the turn. So Zarbon increases one of your opponent's battle cards by 1 for the turn, whereas Adora increases one of your opponent's battle cards by 2 for the turn. So it's that same effect, just Zarbon increased by 1, Adora increased by 2. And then they go along with the last few cards for the green Frieza, and consider it's a multicolour card, it filters into yellow, because like we saw, they're referencing going to green and yellow Frieza. So we got two green Friezas and a Krillin. So we got Krillin, Busting Nut, or Burst and Scatter. Be like the situation where like triggers throw Goku go the edge, where it's a free cost 15k. And its effect is activate main limit 1 if your leader is a green Frieza card and you have a green Z-Unison in play, and your opponent has no battle cards in play. You get the draw one card, play this card from your hand in your opponent's battle area in rest mode. So, if your opponent decides to not put any battle cards out, so you can't successor off their stuff, you can use Krillin to kind of like bust nut, put himself in, and kind of successor off as a way, and then give it more of a cost to trigger be there for more cards and more costs and stuff like that. And it's free play as well. You see that green easy unison play and no battle cards in your opponent's battle area. So it kind of goes with the effect of if your opponent tries to hold off and giving you like successor fodder on their board, you can go and put it on their board for them. And it draws a card when you play them, so you're kind of replacing yourself in hand, so you're not like negging to do these things, which is quite nice. And now we have the Frieza cards being Frieza Invasion Beginnings and Frieza Oppressive Fire, both 10k, both have the same kind of activate mains, which the first one is limit 1 for 1 yellow. If your leader is a green Frieza and you have one or more green energy and one or more yellow energy, you draw a card and play this card from your hand. And then the other active main being once per turn, you declare one number that's 3 or less, increase this card's energy cost by declared number for the turn. So you can use this along with Krillin to kind of get you between 6 and 9 energy for your successor cards, which is quite nice. And it only costs you 1 energy for these two, which is pretty cool. And then you got the first alter, which is the only things that differentiate from the two Friezas, where Invasion Beginnings effect is when this card is played, add it to 1 card from your life to your hand and choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, which is the rest mode. And then you got the other one where when this card is played, you add it to 1 card from your life to your hand, then choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards, rest mode battle cards, can switch active mode during your opponent's next charge phase. So one kind of like switches it so you can attack into it, and the other one kind of makes it so it can switch to active mode to do anything for the next turn. So nice ways to go through, but you then need to get a multicolour charge, and so far we haven't seen any like checkland, so we'll have to see that in a bit. But then that goes to the last bit of green being the green extra cards. So green, unlike red, only got 1 extra, green got 3, and we got Rush into Battle, Senzu being Resurrection, and Key Unleashed. So we got Rush into Battle being a 0 cost extra card with 2 effects. You either activate main limit 1. If you have a green battle card with blocker in play, you get to look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Add to 1 green Goku card with energy cost of 4 or less to your hand and shuffle your deck. So a very limited thing. I think from what we saw, there's only 1 card that fits the target. So not the greatest. And it's got an activate battle for 1 green, choose it to one of your green Goku cards, and it gets 15k power for the battle. So it's like a pseudo super combo, being a 1 energy like battle trick for 15k, but only on a Son Goku card, and it's a free searcher, but only for a specific target. But then it does give some synergy to the old Krillin Goku kind of thing we had back in Clash of Fates. Then we have Senzu Bean Resurrection. This is like green Senzu Bean, because it's an active battle where if it's your opponent's turn, choose it to one of your green Saiyan or Earthling battle cards, and it switches to active mode, and then it gains 5k power for the turn. So it's not as great as Senzu Bean, but it's got the same. It's kind of like going to be referenced as Senzu Bean because it's got Senzu Bean in the name, and it kind of does something similar to like one of the things Senzu Bean kind of does, which is give a 5k boost for the turn for some things. But in this case, it's just only by you choosing a green Saiyan or Earthling battle card, switching to active mode so you can like block again maybe, or maybe block a second time, would be out of the way of being attacked into, and get a 5k power for the turn. Then we got Key Unleashed being the 2 cost one that's not great because it's an activate battle, where if your Earthling card is in a battle, you can choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards when it costs a 2 or less and KO it, and then choose it to one of your cards that's in a battle and gives a 10k power for the battle. So you give a temporary 10k power for that battle and pop a 2 or less, which isn't worth it for a 2-cost extra card that only triggers when an Earthling card is in battle. That's not great. That's a terrible extra. But essentially, being like these aren't very good. But again, you don't have to run them. But the rushing battle could be good, depending on how many targets you've got for for a green 4-cost or less Goku's. And that is it. We finally got for green, but we still have the legacy support that I'll have a look at, and plus the multicolour cards, and also the collector's cards as well. Just have a look at those. Right, so before we go on to the seeing the collection stuff, we have the multicolours. So as we saw, we've got a whole thing of like the villains for each colour so far, kind of have a multicolour strategy behind them, and Beerus's is regarding red-yellow. So similar to how, like when we first had the red-yellow stuff for Beerus back in set 8, we got more of that and more rival strategies or shenanigans, and they're all 5. Well, most of them are 5 costs, so they can trigger with the leads effect. So we got these ones all being 20k power and 5 costs, being Beerus Godly Games, Beerus Godly Whims, and Beerus Releasing the Power of the Gods. They all have energy exhaust and arrival red-yellow for 1 red and 1 yellow. But of course, remember the leader's effect has its when you combo a red-yellow what we call it god card in a turn, during your turn, you can reduce the cost of your first arrival, but after doing that by 1 red. So maybe it's just 1 yellow to combo him. And we got Godly Games has Blocker Revenge and 2 autos. Where the first one, if you have 2 or more red cards in your energy, when this card's played, draw a card, so replace himself. And then the other auto bit if you have 2 or more yellow cards in your energy, and then your turns which is called active mode because they can block and have revenge after you attack with it. So it's not too bad. But then we got Godly Whims, which has offering, but only if you take a mark off a Unison. So that's quite nice. But if you're going to play Beerus, you can have the Z-Unison in play, or normal Unison like Baby maybe in play. And is also an offering's really good skill to just come down and either go crit a life or give you 2 cards to give you more draw cards to help yourself with, or make them crit a life depending on what you want to do. And you got the other auto being, well, the auto on it being when this card is played, if you have 2 or more red cards in your energy, you choose it to one of your red Unisons and add a marker to it. So red's kind of strategy with Unisons is giving markers. And then the other side of it is if you have 2 or more yellow cards in your energy, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards or Unisons, switch to rest mode. So like the resting ability of yellow with the marker adding from red. So a nice sort of way. Not too bad a card, but you sort of take a mark off your Unison. But then we see that the Unison kind of like with the leader blocking it, defending it, and it adding getting a +1 during your player's turn to gain markers. You can have enough to trigger Spirit Boost, and it's pretty nice. Offering's really nice in that it's giving you more cards or create a life, and if your opponent doesn't want you to have more cards to kind of out resource you, then they're going to take a crit life. But then when they're later in the game, when they've got like quite low life, they're not going to want to crit a life. Then you've got Beerus Releasing the Power of the Gods, and this one has dual attack, and his auto is when this card is played, you draw a card, and if you have 3 or more red cards in your energy, you choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards and minus it by 50k power for the turn. And if you have 3 or more yellow cards in your energy, you get to choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards Unisons that can't attack for the turn. So this is a quite nice one to do defensively. Just draw a card, minus it by 15k, and then make it so you can't attack for the turn. But if you're doing it offensively, the can't attack for the turn doesn't really matter because you're doing it offensively. So there is that. So these are the 3 5k 5 drop ones that have arrival for the deck. So not amazing. Like none of them do outclass the old set 8 one, which comes down to either pops like 5k 30k or less, or makes it so one of your opponent's cards can't switch to active mode. But they're pretty nice ones. But yeah, you definitely want to play the old 8 drop one. And we got some of the other ones. So we've got then some Whis cards as well. Some cards that kind of like pretty nice to support the Whis pre-release lead. So we got Beerus and Whis Abusing the Gods, a 4 cost 20k, and then Whis Power Beyond the God Destruction being a 5 cost 20k. So the Beerus and Whis one, it's got critical, and none of neither of these have a rival, but it's got critical. And when this card is played, if you have 2 or more red cards in your energy, you get to choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards with 25k power or less and kill it. And if you have 2 or more yellow cards in your energy, you get to draw a card. So if you've got 2 energy and above multicolour cards, you come down, pop something that's 25k or less, and draw a card. and it's got an easy way to drop it by activate main for limit 1 for 1 yellow. If your leader is a red, Beerus, or Whis, and you have 3 or more energy, you play a card from your hand. So turn 3 onwards, you can play a sound for 20k crit, that pops link, draws your card, and it swings for 20k crit. That's not too bad, that's quite nice in this deck. Well, in either of the decks really, but it's not the best thing to have, but it's not too bad. And you got Whis. This is a really good one for the Whis pre-release lead, because it's got energy source and offering, so it's got offering, meaning that you're gonna make your opponent choose between giving you 2 cards or creating a life. And you got 2 permanents. The first one being if your leader is a red Whis, it's a check land, meaning it negates energy source skill in all areas. It does. You can use this turn 1, which is quite nice. You can get a turn 1 check land. And you got the other permanent where if your leader is a red Whis card and you have 1 or more red cards and 1 or more yellow cards in your energy, you reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 3. So once you get 1 check land in your 1 multicolor card in your energy, this becomes a 2 cost, which plays really nice with Whis' effect to allow you to free play out a 2 cost or less god card if you combo with a multicolor card or a multicolor god card. And you've got 12 cards being 3 copies, you can play 12 to 4 of each, that have offering that you can free play out on your opponent's turn your turn to kind of make it your opponent's either give you 2 cards or crit a life constantly. That's quite like doing that over and over again. It's going to be pretty sick. And the majority of them are 20k, meaning they're nice like beat sticks if they survive, and they're fodder for other things as well. So those are pretty nice cards. And then the last 2 multicolors go up for Beerus deck and the Whis deck, being Beerus and Whis beginning of the gods, and Beerus Godly Greatness being the SRs for the red Beerus deck, being the red yellow multicolor SRs. So the first one's being an 8-drop, 30k power, and the Godly Greatness is a 5 cost 30k, but there's a never arrival skill. So we got the 8-drop being Double Strike, and you play it out by using the activate main, limit 1 for 2 energy. If your leader is a red or yellow card, and you have 4 or more energy, you draw a card and play this card from your hand. And then it's got the also when this card is played, if you have 2 or more red cards in your energy, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or leader cards, both of them rest mode and you can't attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. And if you have 2 or more yellow cards in your energy, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 20k power for the turn. So you get the stop hold off sync from attacking in your opponent's next turn, which is cool. And then you get the minus sync by 20k ignoring barrier, which is pretty sick. So like the good, like really nice things from yellow being put into 1 card is very cool. And it comes down for 2 energy, replace itself in hand when you have 4 more life. 4 more energy for 30k double strikes. That's pretty decent. You can using this to keep stopping your opponent's leader from attacking. It's very nice because you can probably, as long as you got some ways to arrest it, it's pretty good. It just adds more like, it's pretty nice how it adds more to if you got to play red in the Goku deck, but yeah, for what is a color deck, it's pretty nice. And then you got Beerus, Godly Greatness. This one has Double Strike and Offering, so it never arrivals as Offering, which is pretty cool. And it arrivals for a little bit more by 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 of extra color, so free. They can be used on those 2 cost to arrival in. And it's got 2 autos, which are limit 1. So the first one is when this card is played, you choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons, and minus it by 20k power for the turn. And additionally, if your leader is a Beerus leader, this card gets dual attack for the turn until the end of your turn. You can get a dual attack double strike at 30k power. That's pretty cool. And the other auto is limit 1. When this card is using the combo, choose up to one of your red Z-Unisons and add a marker to it. So that's pretty cool. Like, you don't actually choose a unison, it's got to be a Z-Unison, but you get an extra marker when you if you use this in a combo to use Z-Unison. So that's a good way to up the markers quickly on your Whis. Outside that, that's a pretty good one to rival the one we get for the set 8 one, because it's also got offering 30k power, and it's a double strike and could be dual attack as well. Also money sink by 20k power. So then we move on to the other multicolours, being the ones for the Frieza deck. So if you guessed it, it's green yellow. So and focus on successor as well. So this might be some good stuff, and it goes all the way through the different levels. So first one we got here is a 5-drop, 6-drop, and 7-drop. So we got Frieza Preliminary Test being the 5-drop, Frieza Second Change in Form being the 6-drop, and Frieza Transformation of Despair being the 7-drop. So we got so they've all got successor, and we got going higher in power as they get higher costing, being 19, 20, and 25. They all have energy source, and you all have deflect, and are also one cost 10k combos. So the first one is successor for 1 green, so you got a successor 5 energies worth, and it has dual attack, which is limit 1, and it also being once per turn. When this card attacks, use it to one of your opponent's green or yellow. Well, use it to 1 green or yellow Frieza card with with a combo of 5k power from your drop in the combo with skills to get for the turn. So you can have those freezes in there to trigger that. And then you got the 6-drop one being set for 1 yellow, but also having double strike. And it's also being limit 1. If you have 3 or more energy, when this card is played, draw a card and it gets 10k power for the turn. So it comes down as a, if you drop it in 3 more energy, you get a 30k double striker that replaces off in hand. And then you got the 7-drop being successor for 1 yellow, where if your leader is green, well, it's a green freezer card, and you draw 1 card. So as part of successor, you need to be a green freezer lead and draw a card. And then you got the auto being when your opponent plays a battle card, you can play it, well, you may choose it and switch to that rest mode. And if you do, you get your skill for the turn. So kind of like a Poutine in a big battle card, but without protection of barrier. So these are not too bad, very decent. And then we got the Ever 2 because there's 2 more of these. And this comes down to the 8-drop and a 10-drop. So we got the 8-drop being Freezer, Final Transformation Phase, and then we got the big SR Freezer for the successor being the 10-drop Freezer Overdrive Activation. So this kind of has like Jiren vibes from set 9 when we first got successor for the U11 stuff. So 8-drop 1 is a 25k with energy source, deflect, critical, and dual attack. Its successors for 1 green and 1 yellow, and your leader needs to be a green freezer card, so it only works in a green freezer lead. And its also is limit 1. When this card is played, draw a card, then choose it to one of your opponent's unisons and remove 2 markers from it. Then choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons and you get your skills for the turn. So you get to knock markers off of opponent's unison. And you get also negate skills on a battle card or a unison. So that's not too bad. Not great for its cost, 8-drop, but then still critical dual attack 25k is still pretty good, considering that 10k is a sweet spot when aggressing leaders at 15k. And then we got Freezer Overdrive Activation. This is a 10-drop with Deflect, Double Strike, Dual Attack, and Assistance for free, where you also draw 2 cards, so you not only have to sack off 10 energy worth of cost on the board. Remember, you can use your opponent's stuff for this as well. But you also need to pay 3 energy, be at least 1 green and 1 yellow, and you also draw 2 cards. You can see these gaining cards from this will hopefully also control your opponent's board. It also has a permanent to make it a check land, where if you have a green, yellow, multicolored card other than this card in your energy, you negate this card's energy source skill in all areas. And it's got a very nice little floodgate also, being when this card is played, your opponent can attack until the end of their next turn, unless they switch one of their energy to whilst one of their active cards to rest mode each time. So if you have like a unison on, you do like a dorm potential. You have to, well, a floodgate potentially you could have for green, like a king cold for say. Then you get to make it so they've got more restrictions, but also put no restriction. If you just turn over and over again, you can then have keep this floodgate going every one of their turns, but also applying some pressure with some like a big 30k dual attack double striker every time. So like the freeze payoff in 10-drop looks amazing, but the deck just doesn't seem impressive to me. Like I was excited for it, but it doesn't seem as nice. Like the Goku deck seems a lot nicer for me. But then it is a very good generic one. But then we're going to have a look at some of the other cards in this set, being now the Legacy Support. So the Legacy Support for red, because we've seen for the last few sets, I think we've seen 2 cards Legacy Support for an older deck. And for red, it's been Polku support. So we get a Son Goku for the sake of his son, and Piccolo request for every adversary, being Polku support. So the Goku's a 5 cost 20k with an auto once per turn when your opponent's battle card is KO'd by one of your skills. You switch to active mode. So you get 2 swings out of this, which is quite nice. And you get the activate main how you play it, being limit 1 for 1 red. If your leader is a mono red Son Goku card, and Son Gohan Awaken Hidden Power, being the 8-drop Gohan from the set from the archetype, is under your lead or your opponent's leader. You get to add up to 1 Power Pole from your drop to your hand, and play this card from your hand. So you get the Power Pole to add underneath it to kind of trigger some effects from the Power Pole, which is nice, and an easy way to get it, so it's pretty nice support. And you get the Piccolo here, which is 4 cost 20k, with blocker, 2 autos, first one being limit 1, where when your red Son Goku card with Power Pole under it, and an energy cost of 5 or more is removed from your battle area. Sorry. By your opponent's skill, you may play this card from your hand. So you can when you lose one of your 5-drop Gokus by an opponent's skill, you get to play this card out. And then the other auto is when this card is under yours. When this card under your Son Goku and Piccolo arch rivals fighting together is placed in its own drop by that card skill. You get to choose your red battle card. It gets 5k power for the turn. So this is kind of like a good target for that 8-drop Goku Piccolo card. They kind of turn it from a 25k to a 30k double strike, 30k power for the turn, because you're going to choose itself. When you sack this off, if you put underneath it from this card, sack it off underneath it to make it a 30k dual attacker then. Or to make second attack 30k, or another attack a little bit beefier. But this is nice support. It's pretty decent support in just these two cards, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to make it actually a decent deck, because Polku seemed pretty nice, but then dropped off, because it just doesn't seem that great of a red deck compared to other ones we've got. And in the support for green, the legacy support is for Broly. So not just any Broly, it's just more like Broly in general, but also kind of like it's not just Broly support, it's different kind of Broly card support, it's just Broly in general. It's for different Broly decks, and also kind of like AOD support as well. Because we got SS3 Broly Rampaging Express being 8 drop 35k, and then SS3 Broly Impermanent Agent Destruction being a free cost 20k. Now 8 drop Broly, he's got a permanent where if your opponent has 3 or more energy, it gains triple strike, and also will once per turn when your opponent's battle card is killed by this card's attack, switch to active mode. And the way it is played is by activate main, limit 1 for 1 green. If your leader is a red or green Broly card, and you place 1 red-green multicolored Broly card and 1 green card, both from your battle area, in your drop, you get the draw card and play this card from your hand. So you gotta have a red-green multicolored Broly in your board, and any green card, be it an extra card, or a fill card, or a battle card, to put into the play this card out for 1 by drawing a card as well. And then you get the habits of 30k triple striker, which is pretty nice. So it's a pretty nice card, but I'm not sure how great it's going to be for the Broly decks. It could be decent, could be terrible, I'm not sure. But this SS3 Broly is pretty nice, because it's got some really nice effects. It's a 20k base at 30 cost, but it's got 2 autos. First one is when this card is played, you get 10k power for the turn, so it comes down as 30k on the first turn it's played. After that, any turn it survives is just 20k. And its ever auto is limit 1. When this card attacks an opponent's battle cards, you draw a card switch to active mode, so you get to kind of like help clear board, swinging at 30k into it, but also drawing a card switch to active mode. Even if the card doesn't die, you still get to draw a card and switch to active mode. You just get to do it when you attack an opponent's battle card. So you can swing a battle card, and you can start swinging a lead or something else. And you can play it off a cheap by activate main for limit 1. If your pay for 1 energy. If your leader is a Broly card, you have 3 more energy, you play this card from your hand. And that's any Broly lead, just it has to be Broly. So it could be a red Broly, a green Broly, a black Broly. You play out as long as the leader's Broly. It's nice support for either of those. And also it's nice support for AOD, because there's never a free cost 20k agent destruction that you can play out from the leader as well, because the leader, because they Babidi reduce the cost of the cards, so you can play off the leader for free. So this is really, like this SS3 Broly and Permanent Agent Destruction is really nice support for different Broly decks, and because it's very easy to play for any of them, and also AOD. And its 8 drops are pretty nice when you can have for some Broly decks, but I feel like the 3 drops are better. And that's it for the new cards. Now we just get the collector's edition, what we can just go through quite quickly. Being the art, so we got the collector's cards for red, we got the concentrated Agent Same Power, nice art for that one, looking quite cool. Then we've got the Z-Unison 8-drop Goku, same kind of like background and kind of look as the collector's, the first collector's one, so there's nothing really different to look at, just the art of the cards, nothing really good effects, we've already done that. Then we've got the Gohan and Vegeta, their looks, nothing impressive. Look at the Goten Trunks and things, like some of these do look better than the actual normal art, but then the actual art of what they look like looks exactly the same as the Saiyan stuff from the collector's booster. And then we got the green ones. We've got U4 was one, because once again, like with the old collector's one, we only got it was only collector's stuff, alt arts for the Saiyan side and the Enderwood side. Where so far from today, we've only seen the Saiyan side. And then we've got some of the other ones, and this Rush in the Battle is the only one that's actually got a full art looking different than just being like the kind of whirly swirly background with like the fire and stuff on it. It actually has like the same thing for the costs and then no compacts the extra card, but being a full art card like you can kind of get in promos and stuff like that. So the Russian Battle looks really nice. The rest of them just have that, yeah, just swirly background for their colour, flames around it, don't look that impressive, but the Russian Battle looks quite nice. And not only that, we also have like the legacy sport for green gets it, because once again they're both Saiyans. So even though Polku, the Goku is a Saiyan, we didn't get one for him. But the Brolys do both get the Collector's one, and they probably had the better art because even though you got the swirly whirly background stuff, the like character takes up most of the screen, card, and actually looks quite nice. So the Brody gets pretty sick art on this, and actually being good cards as well. So that is it. So this is a lengthy episode because instead of just getting an art set for the week of like a few things, we got two entire colors revealed, a lot of multicolor card support as well as a collector's side. So we got a lot of fit stuff. So even though it's a very lengthy episode, we got a load and probably going to be just as lengthy next week when we get the rest of it. Probably the rest of all of it next week. So let's see if that brigade quickly. But then it's nice to see we're getting this, but at least we saw a trailer beforehand. So Bandai have either done just a one-off good thing in doing the trailer first for this set, or they've just forgot and then did it because it seemed like from the beginning of the spoilers, they did the first reveal all in one post. But when they did the ever post, they did the ever reveals on the other days. They did it in multiple posts, being like they originally planned to do it multiple days, but then just gave up and did it all in one day for each one. But they still did multiple posts. Like you can really just hold Bandai because you never tell where they just incompetent or they just essentially try to do it. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.